And welcome back to Coyote Connection. If you're watching us live on YouTube, welcome back. We had a little bit of an internet issue, and something that only I could see was pure comedy with Ryan and Steve as they both were frozen. And
I believe Ryan is now frozen as well.
well, Ryan's frozen. Let me see if I can disconnect him, Steve. So while I'm trying to reconnect Ryan, if you want to just kind of finish up your thought, you were talking about just some of the changes in. I guess I can't think of what you're saying because I'm watching the other screen right now. See if Ryan comes back. But you were trying to lead into a question for Ryan about numbers and where you get the information and
Yeah.
all that.
So we actually kept talking when we both kind of went out. Uh, but I asked when you're doing these shows as a producer, um, you're doing the numbers, of course, and he does the noon as we were talking about, and I forget which states did what, but Alabama and Florida, one sends out a press release about new numbers at 11:30, and one sends out a press release at 12 o'clock with new numbers, and he does the noon. So he was just saying how difficult it is if you do have number changes when you already had something in for the newscast. How difficult it is, and that's what I was kind of asking him if he's ever run into problems like right before a show. I know around here we found that a little more difficult. Is right before the show you're getting these new numbers. You're getting a press release with new cases, positive cases, stuff like that. So he's back, and maybe he can kind of expand on that because, of course, I'm not a producer. I just kind of watch as things go on.
Tornado warning. That thing just. So I actually need to go, guys.
All right, well, that's live TV. Ryan, you stay safe, and Steve, me and you will finish up here for a couple more minutes.
Yeah,
That has never happened before, so we hope Ryan stays safe down in Florida. Whenever we were trying to get it back, he was saying that yes, we may lose power and there's a big storm. So, like I said, Ryan, stay safe. We're thinking about you, and Steve, we can kind of finish up here and talk a little bit.
yeah.
Now, you started a few years ago. Like I said, you graduated high school in 2015, and we're just one of the best members we had here in the future, hardworking. And what have you noticed? If you could, what have you noticed since like high school, senior, college, freshman Steve to professional Steve? Because social media, you guys, your group, Ryan's group, Danny Beck, Colin Kirkwood, Dylan Godet, you guys always pushed us in terms of social media. And as a professional now, how have you seen that just take it to another level?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, actually. I know we're mandated to do so many Facebook Lives. It's kind of eased up a little bit because of what's going on, but in a natural setting, an everyday news setting for us, we want to push as many Facebook Lives as possible. And social media has just been such a huge thing because a lot of my stories come from social media. We're getting tips via Facebook Messenger. So social media has been a huge part of my job. I run our Instagram account. I've been lacking a little bit because again the circumstances. It's you're juggling a lot. I know you can make excuses, but just kind of how we're living right now. It's kind of difficult to keep up with some of my social media duties. But yeah, it's huge. You're seeing this transition that you've never seen before in live television. You have people doing full on shows. You have people doing full on newscasts via social media. I know some stations do a great job. They have a full digital setup where you click Facebook Live and you see this full production. And the money that's going into some of these setups is crazy. And growing up in this social media world has you can't think it enough. I know social media gets kind of a bad name, but how easy it has made our lives. Sometimes hard, as we just kind of learned the hard way just a few minutes ago. Social media, the internet, all of that, it could be a pain in the butt. But for me, it started my career. Where I go from here, I don't know. That's just you talk about senior in high school, Steve, and senior in college, Steve. I think one of my biggest flaws is I kind of just go with the flow and don't really plan much. So we go with this and enjoy as much as you can with the social media and how much it's impacted everything. So you just kind of enjoy this. And I'd like to think that there really isn't a professional Steve. There's a professional side of Steve, but I like to be as much as myself as possible. And actually, this position does a great job of that because I have a little more room than usual to be a little fun and show a little more personality with certain pieces that I do. If that answered your question, it probably
it did.
didn't.
Yeah, you answered like the next four. I can scratch off a bunch of my list, but I think that's a good thing is to be able to go with the flow because I mean we were talking off camera. Had this horrible thing hadn't happened, this show probably wouldn't be happening because the technology. No one was researching the fact that now, I was on live with you in Wheeling and Ryan in Florida and Danny in Florida and Jess in Florida and my friend Ryan in New York City and people all around. So, and I know on the news side of it, one of my former students and good friends, Josh Fosbrink, he's in the Johnstown market. He's a meteorologist and he's doing his stories from home. His wife and him post pictures on Facebook of their home studio. So I think it's a good quality to be able to go with the flow. And you definitely did that. Now, we have a few minutes left, and we're getting some hard-hitting questions from the internet. And
where are these questions coming from?
This is a valid source, and it's a very, very good questions from our good friend Jeff Helsel, who's watching at home with George on the couch. But he wants to know a very serious question because I dealt with it, and we were talking off camera. The haircut, like you're on air, and I know a lot of times a lot of stations will have deals with barbers or whatnot just to. With wardrobe and hair and stuff, but how are you keeping the hair looking good? I said you look like $1 million when we first came on, but what's the secret for the at-home reporter?
Dude, luckily I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel of my hair gel that I have. It's very good hair gel, and I'm on the last bit of it. It's a mess. Luckily, I'm not on air as much as I would be at the station, just because. And even like Facebook Lives and stuff, because I'm working from home. I don't know if we even talked about that. I'm working from home now, so I just kind of do my own thing and get stuff in because, usually I would be in the newsroom and stuff. So luckily I'm not really on air as much because typically this hair wouldn't be grown out like this. So to answer the question, me personally, I'm just trying to get it as tamed as possible. I'm not pulling out the old clippers right now. I'm not trying to give myself my own haircut just in case. I know I'm not like on air at the time, but I'm not going to pull out the clippers. Some other people, I'm not sure how they're kind of doing it, but it's a serious question because the hair is an important part, and even the salons. I know that's a good amount of business is when we go to get ours done. So hopefully this thing can end soon and these salons can open back up because there's a picture probably floating around there, Gary. Me probably in like 5th or 6th grade. I have an afro, and it's curly. It's like this, and soon that's going to be coming back if this keeps going for a month.
Oh, that picture is on the wall, and had I been thinking ahead, I would have brought that and put it right behind me.
Yeah,
right here.
I could even try to. If you ask your next question, I could even try to find it. I know I have it on my phone here.
Well, the next question I have is I see a little guy behind you. Taking care of business. If I'll go to me so that way you can look up for the picture of Steve. But one of the cool things in your life is you're a proud pet owner.
Yeah, I am.
Guy. Oh, look at him! Look at the guy.
He knows, man. He sat back there and he's wondering what the heck is going on.
Not only that, I could see him adjusting the lights. He has nice 3-point lighting back there, just how you would do it in video one.
Yeah, exactly. No, he's a good boy. His name's Jack, and here's a picture there. So yeah. If you want to, I didn't put that up long enough. Yep, there it is. So that's what it's gonna be like if this goes on for another couple months. Hopefully it doesn't.
I am in favor of that hair coming back. I was also going to say I was looking at the Steve Ruffing fan page on the internet, and they're saying Mohawk ? So you got some options in a couple of weeks whenever it comes to critical mass. But Steve, like I said, it's been great catching up with you.
Yeah,
it was great catching up with Ryan before the world was ending in Florida right now. So again, hope he's safe down there. But it's just we're all proud of you guys because I can still when I go in the station, I can say, okay, that's where Steve used to sit, and that's where Ryan used to sit. That's, it's just amazing to see you guys, taking the next step in your professional
Yeah.
lives. And like I said, you're the first of a kind in the world, digital media
Yeah.
reporter. So
Yeah, it's strange. Usually it's the multimedia, but this one is typically digital first. But it's more multimedia for sure. But I'm just happy to join you, G. Hopefully we could do this again. Maybe we'll have some more better internet issues, and if not, maybe hopefully this ends soon so we could actually do this in person.
well, you know what? We may have to revive our short-lived YouTube podcast, Stories from the Road to CUTV.
I think we should.
Yeah, and it's a joke between me and Steve because we tried. We had this great idea to do stories about some of the things that happen on the road, and me, forgot to turn on one of the mics, so it's on YouTube if you want to look. But Steve sounds great, and you just hear I sound like Charlie Brown's teacher. So that was not one of my finer moments. But one last question, Steve, before we let you go, because it looks like Jack wants to play or take over wheeling. So this, we know this has disrupted sports, and you're a very fervent West Ham United supporter.
Oh, yeah.
Go Hammers. Come on, you Irons. If the season still were going on, do you think they could have come back in the Premier League and overtaken those dreaded first place in the table?
Gary, I'll tell you this much. There's two blessings in disguise with all of this, all right? I'm going to break it down for you. West Ham was facing relegation, and if people don't know relegation is in soccer and European soccer. Relegation is when the bottom three teams at the end of the season will get bumped down to the lower league, and then in that lower league, the top three teams will come up to the top league. So West Ham was facing relegation, and if this thing keeps going on and the Premier League ends the season, Liverpool would not win the Premier League. They were a few games of mathematically winning the league, and this happened. And if you could find some happiness out of that, if you're soccer fans, it's Liverpool not winning the Premier League.
That's one of the biggest silver linings because, like I said, come on, you Irons, COYI.
COYI.
21-22, we're going to be at the top of the table next year. So
you bet.
Steve, thanks for being on the show, and I can't wait to sit down when this is all over at a local establishment. We can really tell the fun stories. So take care. Get all your best to your family. Make sure you give Jack a little treat, and I can't wait for the meeting of Jack, Sally, and George.
Oh, absolutely! Can't wait, Jay. Hey, this was fun. Thanks for inviting me on, man.
All right, and that's it for another episode of KAU Connections, and we'll have a edited version where we put both halves together on YouTube, so look for that. So for Steve Ruffing, Ryan Kaufman, I'm Gary Smith. We'll see you next time on KAU Connections.